What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the third episode of this podcast. I hope we're live. I can't check my Twitch. The player's not loading, but I'll just believe that we're live. Guys, how are you doing? Welcome back. It's been a while, but today I'm really excited. It's gonna be one hell of an amazing episode. Let me just say this in advance so we got it all out of the way. As always, if you missed part of the stream, you can find this podcast back at YouTube, youtube.com/Postma. Make sure you follow that. If you haven't by now, go do that now. And also, this stream, as always, is being brought to you by the amazing Twitch subscribers like you. If you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for free. You know, free money. You can spend it on any streamer. If you spend it here, thank you so much. Thank you. Also, for every stream, we have a fan question section in the Discord. If you're not in Discord yet, make sure you join via the code on screen right now. With that out of the way, let's go to our amazing guest of the day. Today, we're being joined by, well, actually, I should just say, hey, what's up, you guys? It's Rob from AGayGuyPlays.
Wow.
Probably...
Hi, you guys. See, I was gonna. That's how I introduce myself. Now you've stolen the wind out of my sails, and I'm like, how do I introduce myself now? I don't know.
You've been introducing yourself for like the last years. Every single video, every single stream started out with that, right?
Yeah, it's just second nature now. It just kind of like flows. Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Rob from AGayGuyPlays, and today we are here at Who the F Is with Michel Postma. See, it's like butter. It's like butter, which is delicious, by the way, if you haven't been consuming your daily dose of butter.
You know what's also delicious? Butter on a Pop-Tart. But we're going to talk more about Pop-Tarts.
No, you can't do butter on a Pop-Tart. It's terrible. Because Pop-Tarts have so many carbs. You know what? I still have, because, god damn it, my stream is such a bad motherfucking influence. One day we were sitting there and we were talking about all of the different flavors of Pop-Tarts and how to rank which like levels are the best of Pop-Tarts. So we were having that conversation. I'm like, all right, you know what? All of you guys are like ranting and raving about these Pop-Tarts that I haven't tasted yet. So I was like, I'm going to have to go to the grocery store and pick all of them up. So I literally had a list of maybe like 5 different boxes of Pop-Tarts. Yeah, tell me why like a week later, 2 weeks later, I decided to start keto and now I can't eat any of them and they're just chilling. They're just chilling in my pantry. Do you know how hard it is to resist s'mores Pop-Tarts?
I was just about, because you said in your video that you couldn't take just one single Pop-Tart because that would like ruin your entire keto.
It literally kills keto because it's 35 grams of carbs. The only way that I could do it is I could like break Pop-Tart in half. And I could have half a Pop-Tart. I could have half a Pop-Tart, and that would be a majority of my day's carbs. It's so bad.
Oh my god. All right. For those of you who don't know what Rob is, let me just run you through.
Did you just say what Rob is?
Who Rob
I'm
is.
a monster.
His mother Russia. No,
yes.
You may know Rob as he's one of the most prominent YouTubers in the Warframe community. Actually, he's one of the people that I looked up to when I started becoming a YouTuber.
Why, thank you for making me feel old and decrepit.
Ever since last year, he's been killing it on Twitch as a Twitch partner.
Gotta work your butt off, you know. There's always places to improve, and there's always like I want to spread my AGayGuyPlays seed as far and wide as I can. YouTube, Twitch. Now we're gonna try to like move into Insta a little bit. Yeah. Do a little bit of everything, right?
That's right. How is Instagram coming along? Like
Instagram is coming along slow, but then again, I tried to like get myself to post every single day, but sometimes it's because I have this weird 3-column thing that I'm doing on Instagram. So like one column is for like selfies and like my cat. Then another one is like all kind of landscapey things, and then one more is like all foods and whatnot, or my office and foods. But it's kind of like I've tried to take different avenues on them. Like I want to do like food as in, oh, this is fuels. So what is it that fuels you? It's not always food. Sometimes it's like goals or desires or stuff like that. Maybe is getting yourself a new body. And then selfies, I try to do something a little bit different where it's like things that might also represent you. Like I want to mix it up. You got to get creative.
yeah, like that for me that is one of the biggest things. Like I would love to do something on Instagram, but I feel so I tend to feel so narcissistic if I start. It's like just grab at your phone and be like, hey, look at me today, or like look at me doing this work. It's like, well, I feel so bad. It's like, oh, look at me, and it's like,
do it though, because you get all the followers. Trust me, if I was in better shape, you better believe there would be at least one or two of those snuck in there somewhere. Because you got to be proud about what you work for, right? That's the thing. It's like you bust your butt for it, you should be able to show it off.
Mm-hmm. So, well, getting back before the interruption, if you're interested in the Warframe community, if you're interested in Warframe in the game, Rob is pretty much your go-to guy because he covers literally everything. To the point that you don't even like everyone's watching because where else can you get everything? Also,
I am literally like the Walmart. I didn't even give myself the credit. I'm not even like Target tier. I'm like bottom of the barrel Walmart convenience store of Warframe. It's like you want to know about that new update? I got it for you. You know, you want to know about a new build? I got it for you. But it's like the great value version. Mm-hmm. I'm kidding. No. I'm not bad.
You're the Prime version, man. Very proud to call you my friend. But this is a very special episode. Very, very special because I think we've been like 1.5 years ago, like we really met. And ever since then, I think that this is the very first thing that we're actually doing together on YouTube.
Is it?
I think
is it the very first thing? Because we've done a lot of stuff, but the thing about it is, yeah. Here's the thing: when it comes, at least this is when it comes. It'll come. No, but legitimately for me, the way that I kind of look at my work, it's very hit the ground running. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, oh, this is the next thing you're doing. This is the next thing you're doing. This is the next thing you're doing. So it's like my brain is currently perpetually moving forward as opposed to like saying, oh, okay, now let's relax. I'm like, bitch, what's the next thing? I didn't even realize, but in the month of June, I'm going to be doing 2 charity streams. Ooh. 2 charity streams. Because apparently the Twitch Unity thing is also going to be a charity stream. And then we've got the Able Gamers charity stream that's going on as well. Yeah. So if you guys haven't already checked out, what's going on with that will be up. I think I'll be on June 9th. Is that my spot?
Yeah, June 8th to June 10th, we're going to have a special stream for 48 hours. Dual streams and a Devs versus Partner Challenger.
I'm excited.
Rob, you should actually sign up if you can for the Devs versus the Partner versus Devs.
Oh, I have to because I don't know who's gonna be on there, and I have what do you call this?
You got rep to be.
Huh?
You got rep to be.
No. I'm gonna join her. I'm gonna stab the community in the back, and I'm like, I'm gonna join the dev team. Thank you. I want to win. I'm here to win.
All right, you can join that team under the one thing that DE will put you forth as DE Rob for the 48 hours. And let you put DE
I don't think Rob they would. On your Twitter. They don't want that. They're like, no, we can't have him associated with us. Sorry. Like, by the way,
can you imagine
that hashtag #Unteno shirt? I'm gonna be rocking one of those during TennoCon. Mm-hmm. Well, not during TennoCon, like the day before TennoCon.
Oh no. But can you imagine how the reaction will be if your Twitter, like just your name, not your tag, just your name would spell DE Rob for 48 hours? That'd be so worth it.
That would be an uproar. Reddit would literally die.
Oh, yes.
There would be heart attacks all over Reddit. That's why DE won't do it, because they'll literally be killing off half of Reddit. There'll be aneurysms. Poor people left, right, and center would be keeling over in the streets. I'm like, I'm sorry. It's literally going to be like, they're going to see my Twitter handle, and they're going to be like, I'm not feeling so good.
This is just too good.
That's exactly how it's going to end up. But no, that's going to be fun. And Glam, he doesn't know it yet. He doesn't know what we're doing. And I kind of want to keep it that way because I have a great idea. So hopefully he doesn't watch this podcast. I'm not telling people not to watch the podcast. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go and get dating questions from, where you like fill out a dating profile?
Yeah.
And we're going to have to answer them on stream. So we'll find out, because I want it to be like a first date, like a really awkward first date.
That is so perfect.
I was watching another podcast that did that, and I was like, oh, that would be perfect for stream, because I love Glam, and he's like a great like personality. He's just an effervescent human being and just so nice. So part of me is like, I know we're gonna get on well. How can we make this awkward?
Oh my god. Oh, actually, that gets me to one of the things that I wanted to get to later today, because you have something, you have some reputation to live up to. So...
Oh no! This is literally my legacy when it comes to streams, charity streams. This is the level of Rob that we hopefully won't experience, but we'll find out.
This has actually been like the most viewed clip on Warframe Fantasy for a long time. I think this was like the top clip when Twitch decided to partner this channel. But let's take a look. This is when I think the 72-hour stream, this is the moment I think about.
No!
Screwdriver is, but I brought a butcher knife. I mean, it's the same thing, right? I don't understand why it wouldn't perform the same way. I'm gonna assume that it works. Oh, I hate him, you jerk. You just killed me. You need... What? I don't get it. I don't get any of this. Okay.
This moment, though, that was so scary.
We're gonna figure this shit out.
That's not how you open a champagne bottle, by the way.
Yeah, by the way, for those of you who didn't know.
Okay, maybe we're not gonna use the knife.
You still remember that?
So, Rob was a little tipsy. I'm still hold on. I'm still holding grudges on that clip, because the whole thing about that stream was people could alter the way I played the game via donations. So what would happen is if someone donated, I would have to kind of do a randomizer, and it would say, all right, now you need to turn your HUD off. And then another one was like, all right, now you need to reverse your mouse. And the thing is, every time I died, I would have to take a drink.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I remember that.
So, and not only that, but every time I died, and all of my weapons that were equipped were explosive weapons that had ribbons on them. That had ribbons on the explosive weapons. So, this motherfucker would like stand right in front of me as I would try to fire the Ogress, and I would just explode on contact, and I was really, really drunk. And I ran out of alcohol because I'd been drinking so much alcohol, and I had to figure out how to open up a champagne bottle. I did not have a bottle opener, so you know.
Butcher knife. No, like I remember. I think the reasoning went like, okay, wait, I can't drink on donations, so I'll drink when I die to like get around.
Circumvent it. Circumcise it to circumcise it. Are we circumcising the donations?
But this is like the best part, because during that time, like that stream, literally that stream is where I got to know you, because when we started that stream, I did the first slot, and I was like, I want to do something fun. I want to do something crazy. So I was like, okay, I'm going to shoot you a message. I've never spoke with you before. I had no idea. I'd only been to your stream a couple of times. And I was like, I don't know this guy, but it's either going to be perfect and we'll get along, or it's going to be terrible and we don't get along, but both ways will be entertaining. And then Rebecca joined as well. So I was like, this is going to be extra entertaining if we don't get along. And then I got you on for the first hour, and then we
made like $2,000. How much did we make that stream? Just our section alone in that.
Yeah, we made over like 1,100 or so, which is like the very first hour.
Just that first hour alone, and it's amazing.
Yeah, and I tell you, like when we started that stream, like just like an hour before, we had to set our goal, and we were like, let's put it at like 1,500, because how much will people donate? And then the first hour was like 1,100. I was like, fuck, good thing we went with 5,000 as the goal.
No, that was a really fun time, and I look at that as kind of like the age of innocence when it comes to Warframe Twitch.
Dude,
because it started going downhill after that stream. I was like, everybody drama. I'm like, oh god,
tell me about it. But during that time, okay, so during that clip that we just saw, let me actually get it back. So I'll play it with less sound now, but like we were sitting here, and all of a sudden, like we were constantly sitting with like a group of people, moderators, and Cass is like in the chat, back behind the scenes, and we were like talking about the stream, and then all of a sudden you went away. We're like, "What's he doing?" Because we knew you were tipsy.
I mean, it's the same thing.
And then you came back, with
I
that butcher knife. And we were freaking out. We're like, he's not gonna do this, is he? He's not gonna do this.
That it works.
And then, I think you can see in your Twitch chat comments that we come in like, "Hey Rob, you okay?" And I actually came into the stream like 20 minutes later. Like I jumped into the Discord, the live Discord. I was like, "Hey Rob, you okay, man? Do you need help?" He said, "No, I'm fine." But this was like,
I'm good. No, because if you look at the clip, there's literally a moment when you can see the knife slip.
Yeah.
You can see the knife slip, and I was like, okay, that's enough of that. We're not gonna be doing that anymore. I was like, we're gonna put the kibosh on that. And legitimately, the thing that pissed me off the most about that champagne bottle, do you remember what it was? Pissed me off the most?
Yeah, I do.
What was it?
You could actually just turn it.
It is a twist top! The whole thing was a fucking twist top! I was sitting there trying to chop the head off of a goddamn champagne bottle, and the motherfucking piece of shit was legitimately a bullshit twist top. I'm just, oh my god. I was like overcome. I was overcome because I was not able to notice it ahead of time. I was like, the shame! The shame! It was so bad. It was legitimately the worst. But it was a fun time.
Yeah,
after that, we did a bunch of other like charity streams that like so good.
It was so memorable, and like last stream, I can look for the clip.
No, don't.
No, that's
whatever it is.
That's
don't.
actually.
Don't look for it.
But the moment that you cut your hair on stream and like.
Oh yeah, you can find that clip.
Out.
That was a good clip.
Like Rio didn't expect you to do it because it. Like,
well, the thing is, for me, I was sitting there on that stream, and I was so like. Everybody was like, I'll delete this frame, I'll delete that frame. I'm like, bitch, I'm too tired for that. You know what I can do passively? Grow my hair. So when there was, when people kept donating, I was like, let's get to the next donation goal. Let's get to the next donation goal. And I legitimately didn't feel like deleting, because I think they had me delete Loki at one point. I deleted Loki, but of course I had another Loki ready to go. But I was looking there, and I was like, okay, what can I do? They're like, chop off your hair. And I was like, I probably won't cut off all my hair, but oh, there it is. I see it. Oh, this was a moment. I think this was the moment for Blacklist that we knew that we were serious about shit. Because listen, we do it for charity. We do it for charity. And you know what? If it's for a good cause.
Who was that? I think it's Rio. It was like did he just use his phone or so? Because it's like
I don't know.
It's like maxing out right here.
Yeah, I literally just chopped it off. Well, again, like I said, for charity, there are things that I'm willing to do. There are definitely things that I'm willing to do. That was one of them.
That was actually the time that like Blacklist came together. That's the time I got to know Rio. Like we were in a call for our very first call. Me and Rio was like 8 hours long. Like he called me up about the stream, and I was like, "Hey, dude, what up?" And it was like the very first hour. He was like, "Yeah, I need to go to bed soon, dude." I was like, "Sure, man." And then we 7 hours later, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm still up." It was so cool.
That's how they go. That's literally how all of our calls, they just last for so long. It comes to the point now where we all have things in the Blacklist calls where literally Rio's just like, wait. Where literally it's just him yelling for like 5 minutes and not actually saying anything. So that's what he's known for in the calls. Mogamu is known for falling asleep during the calls. Literally, we'll just be talking to all of us and we're
I remember that.
But my key word is, alrighty, so I gotta get going, but and that's my thing. I was like, I have to go. Like, you guys have to understand. I'm trying to make moves. I'm trying to do things. Internet's getting choppy. I gotta go hit the gym. I gotta go make some keto food. There's always something that I need to do. So for me, I'm like, all right, so I'm gonna need to go. And then that's kind of like my reputation when it comes to all of that.
All right.
But no, like it's the Twitch community has been absolutely amazing. YouTube community too. Lately, it's weird because drama will shift from one platform to another, and I'm like, y'all can stay there.
No, it's definitely interesting. Like I've been noticing it too. It's like I've been
Yeah.
on YouTube for over like almost 3 years now. I've been on Twitch. Like I've been taking Twitch. I've only been taking Twitch seriously for like half a year, which is
Yeah.
crazy. But I've been on there for longer. But it's like you get like getting in touch with your community is so much easier on Twitch. Like
Oh my
getting
god,
to know-
Twitch community is hands down the best community because the thing about the Twitch community is they don't just like watch a video on YouTube and they just take you for like how you were in that glimpse of moment in time. People at like in Twitch can literally watch me start off the stream, hey, really, really peppy, and then someone comes in and I gotta rip their throats open, and then I gotta come in and I'm like, oh, how are you guys doing today? Like checking in on, you know, somebody who's maybe had a bad day. And you really get like a range of your identity because a lot of people think that you're just this one thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think that anybody's ever just that one thing. You know, I'm a friend, I'm a coworker, I'm an enemy sometimes, you know. There's just so many different there's so many different aspects to who we are as human beings. The Twitch is just a much better place to get to know someone, to legitimately get to know someone, as opposed to just like, you know, just the snapshot of how you were on YouTube that day.
Yeah, it's so very interesting how you have a lot of people that were coming over to Twitch recently. And you have so many YouTubers like, hey, what's up, guys? Next shot today. Next shot, we're gonna, and like they're so hyper.
Yeah, it's literally
and
just
then,
the blunt jump
and-
cuts, and it's kind of like how many takes did that take you?
and then they come on Twitch and they think that they can just fit in and get that energy over. Like everyone comes over, and then you know you just get people with they're like, you know, they start up on the phone. Oh yeah, hey, what's up? And they don't even play the game. They make other people play for it. But anyway, actually, let us get back to the stuff that I prepared, because I think that this is probably one of the reasons that we haven't really done something together, because like it's normally I follow like I have a list of bullet points, and I don't know how long we've been going for. I think 20 minutes.
We
and we
literally
haven't hit
always
a
just get
single
carried away and we
bullet
forget.
point. But yeah, it's like you know, there are some people out there who just become friends for work, and I just become friends, and you have work, and sometimes it's these two cross-sect, and that's really nice. But if that doesn't happen, like, I did not befriend you for your sub count. Let's just put it
and I think that's what I've slowly learned, especially when it comes to YouTube and Twitch. I see a lot of what I call friendships out of what is it called? Friendships out of convenience, or friendships out of what's the other thing called? Yeah, friendships out of like convenience, like where you're friends because they can help propel your career in one way or another. Like it's just convenient that you guys are friends and it helps you out, like utility friend.
Yeah.
And I think that everybody from my streams, everybody everybody from my YouTube just knows that I'm a very straightforward person. And there's even sometimes like right now where you kind of want to be a part of a group, but for me, the first thing that I want before I become a part of any group is I'd rather be your friend than be your coworker. Because I'd rather be my own coworker, and I'm the only one that I have to work with because I know my bad attributes, and I know the terrible things that I have to deal with, and I can deal with that. But I don't really want to like have to befriend someone because it helps my career. I'm like, listen, if I like you, fantastic. If I don't like you, then I don't like you. Moving along.
Yeah. No,
that's all it is.
It's something that I especially came to learn after, like, what you said, like, that stream was, like, the high point of everything, and then everything deteriorated.
Yeah.
I would love to say it wasn't like that. It's kind of like that. Especially behind the scenes, you might have not noticed it outside, but yes, the landscape is different, and it's like...
And let me tell everybody,
ahead.
real quick, especially on the YouTubes and Twitch right now, there is a lot of people see me speak up about certain issues, and sometimes they don't like what I have to say. Sometimes they don't like my approach to saying the things that I had to say. But believe you me, there is way more happening in the background than you realize. Like, not even towards that one specific thing, but there's just so much like background simmering drama. And for people to call me out to be like a drama queen for the one time I decided to pop up, there's at least 5 or 10 issues that I just let pass. And trust me, there's a lot of background issues that happen, and it's kind of crazy.
But like right after that stream, like I got hit by so many like inbox messages, which was weird for me because the only thing I'd done at that time, and we'll get to more to the bullet points in a bit, but like this is just what I want to put out there. It's like around that time I only had like 100 subscribers. I'd never ever like done anything in the community. I still didn't feel like I was big in the community or anything. Still don't feel like it, but like at that time, like I did this stream and all of a sudden like people saw it, and I got hit with like a lot of people that apparently thought I was important or anything, and they wanted to be my friend, and it just felt so disingenuous. Like, all right, so are you here for me, or are you here for the position you think I have, which I don't even have? You just think I have. But anyway, let's actually get onto YouTube now. We can't go over YouTube without actually going into what happened last week on YouTube. I just wanted to touch on it.
It burns. I'll tell you that for a fact. So as we all know, TotalBiscuit did pass last week, and that was rough for a lot of people in the community. I know that Quiet Shy recently just did a stream, I believe today, where she was drawing TotalBiscuit. I know that was a big influence on her. That was also a very big influence on me. I had been watching The Mailbox, if you guys were down with those days, where he was doing The Mailbox and he was doing WTF Is, all of those amazing shows. That was like my gateway drug to YouTube. It was kind of like, oh, I'm tuning in for this every morning. Like, I want to hear what the new news is. I want to hear about this new video game, constantly, like, always watching. And that's really what even put Warframe on the map for me. Mainly because of the fact that I didn't know Warframe existed until he showed it off on his channel. And when I say Warframe, I mean like back in the days Warframe with the skill tree and all of that kind of stuff. So like when he first showed it off. So I was watching him then, and then of course there was the Co-optional podcast where I fell in love with Dodger, and then like Dodger became my new best girl on the internet. I'm gonna tune into your stuff. So I just became immersed in YouTube through them, and that really helped pique my interest in doing YouTube and continuing to motivate myself to do YouTube, because I was like, big dreams when I was like back there and I had like maybe 1,000 subscribers, like one day maybe I'll be on a co-optional podcast, that would be so cool. And now you're like, it was hard. It was really hard. I did a late night stream on it too, because sometimes you got to get your feelings out, and it just feels a little bit uneasy not talking about it when it was just a big part of your life,
Yeah, like I like to me, I really got to know him when he did like, I think he did 3 Warframe things. Like this was his latest a couple of months ago. He also did one like a year before that, and then one like back in the day. I got in the middle one. That's when I saw it. Like people in the community were all like, "Oh my god, TotalBiscuit made a video about it." I was like, "Who?"
Yeah.
And I was like, checked him out. I loved that. Like I was like, "Wow."
Yeah.
However, like I didn't watch him too regularly, but I knew about him, and like I knew it was coming up. But still, like the moment, like the day I woke up and it was actually in, like I think I checked Twitter and I saw it on Twitter first, and I was like, it hit me so much harder than I ever thought it would. Just because like we've never ever had this with YouTube, that the YouTube stars that we grew up with, the people that we loved, the people that we watched, actually pass away. Like it's we don't know how to. I have no idea how to deal with it because it's never happened before.
Yeah.
and it makes me
Um,
scared, kind of.
the issue with me for it, and the reality, at least the way that I felt, was every single time I thought he was getting better. I was like, he's getting better, he's getting better. And you guys know, in general, I'm an optimist. So I'm like, yeah, this is amazing. It's gonna be fantastic, right? And then, of course, I was watching Co-optional, and there was a segment where he just wouldn't put himself on cam because I guess he was like not looking at his best, right? And then all of a sudden he started using his cam again. And I was like, yeah, Biscuit's back. Biscuit's back. I was like, he's got his face camera looking good. Yes, Biscuit. I'm like so happy. And then all of a sudden, he stopped using face cam again. And then he said that he was going to take some time off from doing YouTube stuff to kind of spend time with his family. And it was just one of those moments where I'm like, no, he's going to be fine. He'll be back on cam soon. And, we have it in our minds that, no, there's no way. There's no way. He's got to come back. It's Biscuit, He's like a fighter. He's so brash. He's like so strong. And then just to one day just not have him as a part of the community is kind of like, oh shit. And it just feels a little bit strange,
Mm-hmm. But with the the way you say talking about this is why I wanted to address it. We're having some issues with your webcam. It's kind of slow. But
is it bad?
It's
Am I
better
still
again.
gorgeous?
It's
Do I look
again.
good?
I can get you back. But this is why I wanted to talk about it today. Is that because we've never had this. It's like I didn't know how to address it. However, because I don't want to be treading into a territory of trying to use the situation for clicks, for views. However, at the same time, I found myself looking at my sub feed, looking for people like Philly D, Boogie.
He didn't cover it,
to cover it because it's like you
want to talk about it, but you don't want to not talk about it.
Yeah, it's like. There, of course, there's not much to say about it, but you at least want to have the recognition there and hear stories and sides from people. That being said, about Boogie, he did go out on Twitter to defend him for people that just complete garbage persons that went to mock Biscuit about disagreements and be like, oh, I don't get that.
This is why I reserve the right to be a raging asshole.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? These are those moments where I'm like, hey, you're a garbage person. You deserve to be taken out like the garbage, and you deserve to be treated like garbage. And it's like I try to be nice to everybody as much as I possibly can, but when someone is just very, very obviously a garbage human being, I'm like, I'm going to go off on you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for the throat. And you should have known better than to act like a disgusting human being. So it's kind of like those things that I'm glad I didn't see any of that. And to be honest, when the death came through, it definitely shocked me.
Yeah.
Because I really didn't want to believe it.
This hit the closest home for me. I think everywhere, if you look on YouTube or Twitter or Google, this is one of the top things you'll find. The Warframe community is you also find the people kneeling at the relays. But this clip, this was what I woke up with, and that it really hit home. Also to see Rebecca and Megan, they're really good at their job, and I've been in their studios. I've been there during a prime time, and there's so much shit that's being thrown their way, and they're they got this very wonderful armor that they have shielding them against that. They won't get hurt. They won't get emotional about
their armor scaling is through the roof.
But then seeing them with that knowledge, seeing them as emotional as they're now, it's it's serious. But let's. If you have it's 500.
Yeah, this is one of those things too. That literally, me and Mogamu were tuned in. We're wait, why are they crying? Because we were watching and we had the music off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, we just see them burst into tears, and I was like, "Oh, what's happening? What is happening right now?"
Let's go take it.
Actually, just heard that TotalBiscuit passed away, so we're not going to stream tonight. Thank you. He was hugely influential in Warframe, starting off with his original video. we would love to bring you some Warframe gameplay later. Not this week, unfortunately, but we'll see you guys next week with some Saren gameplay. We will, of course, be reading your comments, and we just don't think it's right for us to stream tonight. So take it easy, and see you later.
It was like I didn't see the stream. I saw this clip, and I think they took like I don't know. They did.
No, literally, that was the stream.
Okay, so
The stream ended there. It was done.
So they started it and they ended it. This was the entire stream because
Yeah, this was just kind of like that was literally their entire stream. They just came on, said that they're not going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, it's hard. It was very, very hard to make videos after that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that there was definitely a gap in my video production. I think people had seen that because of the fact that it's so much of a shock that you really don't. Especially to me, because like I said, I like to think that, potentially everything's gonna work out great. It's gonna be fantastic. I think one of the biggest things, like I was talking to someone that I'm currently involved with, and they're worried about things. I'm like, we'll figure it out. You know, everything will figure itself out. So that was literally for me. I'm like, it'll be fine. They're gonna find the cure for cancer. They're gonna suppress it, and then to see that on the stream, that's like not the way that you want to find out. You see people bawling. I'm like, what is happening? So it was terrible.
But at the same time, like one of the things that I found like this year I discovered that I found really, really annoying is that when I make Warframe videos, and it's like when I just covered the Warframe stuff from like the weapon reviews to like the changes, it's like you're so on the subject. It's like you're just talking about the subject, and there's like nothing, like you have your own personal taste to it, but you can't put out your personal feelings or whatever is going on with you. It's not about you, it's about like the thing that you're talking about. And when something like this, you want to talk about this, but like
I was going to say the exact same thing. In the beginning of the video, the most recent one, which was the Saren, the spread and build for her that I'd put out, I wanted to do a little tribute at the very, very beginning. But then again, I also had to realize, at least in my brain, I was like, I understand that to me it's important to have some sort of tribute and to kind of pay respects to that life, but I also have to remember that people want to leave. The way that I always say is, if you leave my videos and you don't feel positive, like if you don't feel positivity coming from the video, or the video trying to make you feel positive, then I failed as a content creator, or I failed as my mission to create the kind of content that I want to. And I didn't want to put it in the video because I wanted to lift people up above that instead of reminding people about it. But it was a struggle because he's such an icon to me specifically, and he'd influenced my life so greatly that it was hard to not address it. But at the same time, I knew that people probably wanted to move past it. You know what I mean? To at least to get their brain off of the situation for a minute. And I wasn't sure. I don't know if it was a misstep. Like, I think that maybe I'm probably going to feel a little bit like, oh shit, that was my opportunity to really spread that. But I don't know. I think that, it's hard.
It is. Like, personally, I feel that you like every single video should be able to, like, you should be able to share the whole range of emotions, because I feel it's a better personal connection between like you and the audience. However, like, it's so weird. Like, back in the day, like a year ago, there was a discussion of forced positivity on YouTube. Yeah. And people were like, yeah, everyone's got to be positive. And we're putting this forward. I think PewDiePie was the first to, like, bring this forward. And it's like, I want to bring it forward too. Like, do all the range of emotions, because I'm not a happy human being. Like, I'm not 99% of the time happy, and once I'm a bit like, nah, maybe I'm bored. No, it's like maybe 50% of the time I'm happy, and 50% of the time I feel gutter trash, and you're like, what am I doing, eh? But it's like, when you're making that video, you're putting it on YouTube, like, you don't want that. It's like, it feels bad. And it's like, am I really going to put this out? Is this really worth putting out there for, because you're gonna take your complaint or whatever you're saying was, because most of the time it's like a complaint or something, and it's like, I'm feeling bad about this, but do I really want to like share my troubles with you? And it's like, do I really want to have that around? But at the same time, it's also like, I don't want people to feel like I'm always having a good time. I don't want people to be like, oh, you like, I wish I was there. Like, my life's horrible.
See, that's why you need to be a bigger bitch like I am. That solves everything. Rob's not positive all the time. Sometimes he's a big fucking bitch. And then the other part of the time he's positive. But the great thing, and I think it was awesome because instead of putting out a video that night, I actually went and streamed on Twitch. Mm-hmm. It was about midnight. I wasn't feeling the greatest, and I was like, you know what, I'm not going to be able to sleep, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and stream. And because of the fact that everybody was kind of on that same brainwave, because it had just happened, right? Mm-hmm. So everybody was in that same brain space, so we kind of all were able to get together as a small community. It wasn't a big stream. There wasn't anything crazy about it, but we're all able to get together and kind of like talk ourselves through the situation and help support each other, because so many of us were feeling that same way. So a part of me is happy that I didn't put it out on YouTube, but a part of me is also very happy that I was able to go to Twitch and to express my feelings there. And even then I was like, I didn't want a stream that says, let's talk about TB's death.
Oh yeah.
You know, no, I was like, how do I acknowledge it and acknowledge the fact that this is something that has affected me without doing it? So I just titled the stream, Top Hats Off to You. Mm-hmm. That way the people who knew, and that way it wasn't like, I'm using this as clickbait so that you guys can join me. Because it's really hard to balance that. It's like, I want to talk about a hot topic, but I also don't want people to think that I'm trying to milk it for views. It's hard.
Like, that's also the hard thing when it comes to like making a video, making a tribute about it. It's like, number one, you don't want it to be clickbait, like, he died, then you just squeeze these dollars out of there. Like, that's not what you want to do. But
get the dollars out the udders.
But at the same time, it's like, if you want to do a tribute, like you want it to be very good. Like, you want it to be worthy of, like, but you gotta push it out in such a fast time. Like, if you put it out a week after, either like the message has got to be really good and the tribute's got to be really good, or it's just like, oh hey, this happened a week ago, let me make you all feel sad again. But so it's like, it's hard. But let's actually move towards we were talking about YouTube, and I thought it was a great time to talk about you on YouTube.
If you have a clip of this, I'm gonna kill you.
I have a variety of clips. We're gonna get to that, to the explain this section. It's coming up. But first, I want to talk about something less, well, something more innocent. You know.
Yeah.
Do you remember what your very first Warframe video was about?
Yes, I do. It was terrible. Do you want me to intro it?
Yeah. Try your best intro.
I'm pretty sure it was still. Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Rob from AGayGuyPlays, and today we're going to take a look at Necros, the Soul Puncher. I still remember that part.
Let's see.
Is it there? It is!
There we go.
Oh, no.
Actually,
it's a 3-minute video, too. What the hell was I doing?
Like, what were you doing? Just ad revenue, bro.
I know.
Oh, my God. You were so... You have no idea what you were doing. Your first video, and it wasn't over 10 minutes. You know, you could have put like 2 ads in there, a mid-roll ad.
I could have. That was back in the day when everybody was a partner.
Yeah. Well, now it's...
Let's see, is it accurate?
No. Actually, 2 things you're not accurate on both things. Number one, back in the day when everyone was a partner. No, back in the day, partnership meant something.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't. Depending on which partnership you
nothing.
But number 2, no, you were not actually you did not start out with, hey, what's up, you guys? This is Rob from AGayGuyPlays.
What did I start out with?
Today on AGayGuyPlays, Necros.
Oh my God! What is this?
Puncher.
Wow, that mic was terrible.
Today on
that mic was terrible. Wow.
Necros is the newest addition to the Warframe roster, and people are getting all kinds of tingly in their naughty bits for this one, with good reason too. So let's do a quick overview of his abilities. His first ability, Soul Punch, slams his fist into the enemy so hard that it knocks out their soul.
I was trying so hard to sound
and
straight.
All enemies behind
I literally lowered the octave of my voice to get this video. Everybody was like, I remember back in the day when you sounded less gay. Now you're dialing up the gay. And I'm like, actually, back in the days, I was trying to sound straight.
Oh my god.
I wanted to sound more masculine because I wanted people to be more accepting of me. And even I fell into that trap. And really, like, after a while, I was like, nah, fuck y'all, bitches. I don't care. I'm gonna act the way that I want to act.
I probably
This is
have to
bad.
admit the same thing. If you watch some of my iDreads, like I had an iDread voice, which was like, I don't know if I can do it anymore. Like I need a script for that, but it was like, oh my god, I can't even remember the lines. But it would be like lower than what I normally do, and ever since I've been like hanging out with you, like I've also been taking over some of your habits of going like higher.
Because here's the thing. For me, the way that I always do it is I express myself. Like if I feel excited, you're gonna hear excitement.
Yeah.
If I feel like something is shitty, you will feel that shittiness via my vocality, right? Like I'm not the kind of I've stopped trying to hide the way that I feel because I think people like my like natural reactions, authentic, genuine reactions.
By the way, this was a time when people were still nice in the comments. Look at that. Please do an updated video of Necros. So cute. Hey,
I know it, and it's only got 8 thumbs down. Wow, yeah. I'm shocked.
You should actually try like just take this footage and then like roll over it with like a voiceover and then just like how you would do it now.
Yeah. That would be a fun series to revisit. But here's the funniest thing about all of this footage is when I first started YouTube, I literally did not know the difference between screen resolutions.
Oh, dude.
So I was actually capturing this. Like, can you see how the sides are cut off on the screen for some reason? It's because I wasn't capturing this on the right resolution. When I was trying to edit it, it would not edit right. So some of my videos looked squashed or squished because of the fact that I was on a different monitor. Like I was on this old Dell monitor that just like it was bad. It was really, really bad. And I didn't understand what anybody was saying. I didn't understand what anyone was saying when they were saying about resolution whatsoever.
Oh my god.
I did not understand.
You should see my first video. Like I think I at some point privated it and then like put it back on public because I think it's cool to see where people started from.
Yeah, but I don't think that I've ever, aside from like stream announcements and a couple videos that had some issues with copyright.
But look at that! Look at that thing right there! Look at how it's.
What is that?
Like, look at that!
What is that?
Look at this! Look at this! Look at this!
How is that a resolution?
Like, I don't know.
Is that a resolution? Were you recording it from your phone?
No.
How does that work?
I don't know. Like, I just put it in, like...
If you just started playing Warframe...
a random piece of software. I don't even know what I used. And, like, I threw it in there, and I was probably like, well, it will just expand out. It's, like, in a blank box. It's in a...
It'll probably just expand out. Yeah, I'll figure
I don't know, but...
Welcome to the game.
But the funny thing is that
great.
I remember shooting this, and, like, I had looked at Mogamu with, like, how he, like, cut between, like, gameplay.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna do it too. So you'll probably see that after here, I'll cut to another piece of gameplay.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, my pacing was completely off. Oh yeah, I threw in some comments, which was kind of funny. And back then I put in my first video, and I just sat there like the ignorant person I was, like, this is better than Mogamu. I'm gonna. Why don't I? It's like,
you look at this and it's like a little mini rectangle on the side.
It's like I was
you know
like,
what it is though. Like this is the thing. If you had never made that video, you probably would have never started.
No, that's where I'm really proud of. It's like, I had a point where I was like, oh my god, this is so bad. I can't show it. But now I'm like, it's so good to show this because now I make the videos that I make, and if people are like, my god, that is great, you know, maybe it's still garbage. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like, oh, it's great in the 5 days. It's so funny. There have been so many videos that I made, and I was like, this is the best thing I've ever done. And then, like 2 months later, I was like, this is the fucking worst. I can't look at this. And like at some point, I realized. So I made a video. I was like, this is the best thing I've ever done. But in 2 months, I'll think this is the worst, and it came true.
No, I'm not even joking. Literally, if you look at some of my older videos when I started using Facecam, tell me why I look like a motherfucking geisha in some of them. I'm so washed out. Like, there's literally no color to my face. I've got like my hair looks crazy. I like looked at myself and I was like, why did you think that was a good look? Because here's the thing, if I saw that now, I'd be like, you need to fix some color correction. You need to embrace that melanin, because literally you look like you dipped your face in some powder and walked onto the camera and said, hello. It was bad. It was so bad. So I'm sure that like months down the line, I'm going to look at some of the videos that I've been doing, and it's just going to be embarrassing too. Everything. Literally, sometimes I look at my streams, I'm like, why do you look like that on your streams? In fact, this morning's stream, I looked at myself, I was like, that was a regret. Don't wear that shirt on stream anymore.
But getting back to, let's see, we can get back to Necros. Like, I just want to.
Let's not.
Well,
Let's not.
I just want to like. Well, it's like this video. What got you to make this video? What got you to like start YouTube, especially on Warframe?
Literally, my excuse for everything is just do it and it'll figure itself out. Mainly because I genuinely don't feel like I think that people are so afraid of failure and so afraid of fucking things up, and so they feel the need to be perfect on their first run. And I just figured, let's just do this. Nobody's gonna be watching this video anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm looking at it, 19K views. That's about how many views I get now. I'm like, no. But that's exactly how I felt. Was very much like, nobody's gonna watch this anyway. And to be honest, I was right. And nobody was gonna watch my videos anyway. They were so old. At that point in time, I was happy to get 15 views. I was like, oh my god, 15 views, I did it!
I remember the time that I started the YouTube channel. It was like half a year later, and I was sitting there with like a couple of friends, and I was like, hey, I got a YouTube channel. Like, you know, showing up, and they were like, how many subscribers you got? And I seriously was like, because it took me half a year to get there, I was like, I got 40 subscribers.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, what, dude? It's like, 40? Do you even understand how hard it is to get there?
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, like, I was, wow.
It is definitely one of those things when you first start out, you're like, oh my god, this is so absolutely amazing. I was like, I got 15 views. And then slowly but surely everything started like going up and going up and going up. And I was like, all right, let's ride this out. Let's keep on keeping on. And I don't know. I think it was kind of one of those things where you just kind of embraced it.
So around that time, like, well, I kind of know, but like for the podcast, okay, I got no clue. What were you doing around that time?
In life,
like in life, like
sucking a lot of dick. No, I'm just kidding. No, during that time, I was actually was actually just a thing that I did on the side. Mm-hmm. So this wasn't like anything serious. I was actually working for L'Oreal at that point in time, making what I like to call the L'Oreal money. And I was able to basically fund myself through that and slowly kind of work this up. A lot of people, like, I didn't just throw myself into this blindly. Like, this was something I was doing alongside a full-time job to try to, like, you know, build it up and see where it ended up going. And it ended up going somewhere away from L'Oreal.
So, like, you had a good paying job.
Mm-hmm.
You had some nice parties there.
Oh, lots of nice parties. Let me tell you. Open bar constantly. Well, it was great.
Well, now you get Tenno VIP, which is pretty much also open bar, which is pretty nice. We should just have more
I can't go to Tenno VIP because Tenno VIP always happens in Europe or happens on the East Coast. And I never, because, you know, I'm making, instead of the L'Oreal money, I'm making the YouTube money.
It's so funny.
The YouTube money.
It's so funny
Twitch
how
money.
oh yeah, how like people when they're talking about YouTube money, it's like, oh, let me just buy 4 Lamborghinis with my YouTube money. Let me just like donate $40,000 to Twitch streamers. Like no. It's like
I'm like, listen, I'm a Twitch streamer. Can you donate 40,000 to my Twitch stream? I'll take it.
Yeah.
Because Rob needs some of that. Rob needs some of that YouTube money that, you know, we're not getting.
So, but at what point, like, when did he decide to? Hey, I got a title bar or something.
Make the biggest mistake of my life?
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
no, pretty much. When did you decide, like,
well-
fuck it, I'll go down if this ship goes down. I'm betting my
Well-
life on YouTube.
I think honestly, what it was kind of like a connection between the two on both Twitch on both YouTube and my job. My job slowly became more and more corporate, and it kind of strayed away further from the job that I'd originally signed for, because originally the company was a little bit looser with the way that it handled itself. And the thing is, when you deal with salons and you deal with stylists, there's a lot of creative types, right? And then of course L'Oreal is a big business and it's got other companies underneath it, and it's very corporate. So my brain had to do this like blending of like corporate, like business and artistic, and it just sometimes didn't connect. So I always felt torn between, do I bring the business part of me or do I bring the realistic part of me to these people? And it was rough. So that was kind of like where that was struggling. And then slowly the channel started getting better and better and better. And one of the things that I had always heard is, if your part-time job is making half as much as your full-time job, think about how much you could be making if you invested in your part-time job fully. Right? So that was definitely in my head, and I was like, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrimp and save, and I'm going to put all of this money to the side, and I'm going to use that as a buffer until I get YouTube up and running, right? Because that was definitely something that needed to happen, was I needed to get out of that job, which I was just really not happy with, and move on to something that made me a little bit happier. And don't get me wrong, the people that I was working with were lovely, but just the way that the job worked was becoming less and less for me. So I really started putting my nose to the grindstone for YouTube, and I really started, you know, kind of gearing up at my job to save every penny that I possibly could so that I could pay rent for at least 6 months and keep myself going for at least 6 months. And then there just came a point where I was like, all right, I'm done. Okay, goodbye.
Around what time was that? Like, how many years ago are we talking about?
Ooh, it's been like maybe a year, and because I know that I left in September, so it's over a year now. It's been over a year.
2 years,
I think
then.
that maybe this September, August, it'll be 2 years.
So that was like right after TennoCon 2016 then.
TennoCon lit a fire under my ass like nobody's business. Like legitimately. I went to TennoCon and people were so inspiring and so loving. Like literally, you go to TennoCon, you're sitting there and you listen to Reddit and you see like these content creators that are like, you know, trying to drag your name through the mud. You see all of this shittiness within the Warframe community, and then you go to TennoCon and you're like, where have you all been? Where have you been hiding? You're so nice. I love you. You're fantastic. Like I always say, there's always Drunk Girl at TennoCon, and she's like my favorite in the world. I'm like, Drunk Girl, come through, see me this year. We gonna party. I'll buy you another glass. But literally, you run into the most amazing people there, and they're so kind. And to be honest with you, there's a lot of people there that no longer have the guise of being, what's the word, anonymous on Reddit, or anonymous on Twitter, or anonymous on Twitch. So now you see everybody from human being to human being. And that was definitely one of my favorite things about that, because I'm like, bitch, now I'm here. Do you have something to say to me? And the thing is, I think people think that like this is a persona, you know what I mean? Like me on Twitch, on Twitter, on YouTube, they think that this is a persona. And I think that you've met me in real life, and this is basically how I am. Like, if someone has something to say to me, what do you have to say?
No, it's like you're exactly as you are online as you are in person. One interesting thing though is that at some point
I'm less attractive though in real life. I've got good lighting, so
at some point actually that was last year when we had when we had a little drama on Twitter where I actually got involved in, which was like probably my first time that I actually joined it, because like I tend to stay away from that. Most of the time, if people are just complete garbage, I'm like, I'm not even spending my time with you, okay? Just be you, but I don't want to give any attention to you. However, around that time, like, you came down on this person, and then I had to step in, and I had like a couple of people that know me well, that I really consider my friends, come up to me and say like, well, Rob is really going well, like you should, like, is that okay? Like they were kind of concerned, they didn't really take favorably in your position, and I was like, well, let me just put it in context for you, then you'll understand that this is like completely 1000% justified. So it's like I think that a lot of people just take like the moment that you burst out in anger, it's like, oh my god, someone is ranting, someone is angry, and it's like no, that's they'll take that, and they'll take that as a negative, but it's like no, it's just because something so fucking shitty has been going on for so long that we just won't take it anymore. And like I'm not out there to spread drama. However, I do want to just be honest with people, and I really don't like when people just put on fucking fake faces, and like it's kind of an insult to your audience when you act a certain way, and then put values forward, and then in person completely disregard these values. And like your people, if they're watching you, they deserve to know. They deserve to know who you are, and you can take that as me calling you out. But, well, it's just who you are. I know who you are, and I'll just tell them, and if they're fine with that, I'm totally fine with that. I
said it this morning on my stream. I'm just as much as a garbage person as some of the other people I call garbage people. And I think it's very important to own up to, like, who you are as a human being. Yeah, I'm aggressive. Yeah, I'm combative. I'm all of those things, but I will never, ever fight for no reason. If there's no reason to fight, I'm not going to fight, because I've got better things to do with my time. But when there is actual issue, and when there is actual things that need to be addressed, I'm not going to be the person that sits there and just says, fine, do whatever you want. I'm going to say no. This is where I stand on it. And I just feel kind of like, how do I put this? I just feel very, very strongly that we should be genuine, that we should be real. And if you don't tell someone that they're an asshole and really stress the fact, then they're going to continue being an asshole to the next person. They're going to continue being an asshole to the next person, the next person, the next person. And guess what? You could have stopped it if you put your foot down right then and there. Because that way you could have been like, I called them out. I said that was an issue. And if everybody wants to turn on me for doing that, that's fine. But I don't think that that's the case, that everybody will turn on you. I think that there are people who see through that as well. Yeah. And I think that there are a lot of supportive people in the community. They're like, yeah, we don't like the bullshit either.
No, for me personally, it's like, yeah, most of the time I don't consider the drama that comes with it worthy. However, one of my core values is that I will fight for the things that I've deemed important, which like, community is a very important thing. My friends are like my most important thing. If you even like dare to come after my friends, I'll come back. Like I don't care what position I'm in. I don't care what drama I will get in. If I have to if I have to end up having to shut down my YouTube channel or Twitch channel because I was defending my friends, if I had to be kicked out of a partnership, I don't care, because how bad of a sack of shit would you feel when you're still left because you weren't able to stand up, or you were just too
and that's exactly what I've said in the past. One of the big things that I've always said in the past was like, listen, if this gets me, like, whenever I pick my battles, right? Because there are many battles to be had. Don't get me wrong. Like I was saying, there's things going on Twitch. There are things going on YouTube. I pick my battles, right? And the big issue is, I will only fight for something that I can back up, and have also deemed myself saying, is this the hill you want to lose partnership over? Right? And there are certain ones that, you know, people will be like, oh, why would you do that? Why would you do that? But for me, personally, I'm like, I always think to myself, do I want to put this out?
Yeah.
It's never just like I'm enraged, I must tweet out my feelings. Even though it seems like I am enraged, I must tweet out all my feelings. I'm like, all right, let's fucking dance. Like that's how it is. I'm like, I've got enough ammo. I've got enough ammo to make sure that I'm able to bury a couple slugs into the right places. And I'm, you know, it's one of those things where you just gotta like make sure, like, don't ever pick a battle that you're gonna lose. Like, I always tell people, I was like, don't speak on things. Like, ask questions. Don't make assumptions. Like, don't just assume. So that's why a lot of people say that I come off very like know-it-all and, oh, you're so elitist. I'm like, no, I just don't talk when I don't know. And that's one of the biggest things that I always like to.
Well, let's get into like one of the other things that I wanted to ask you about well, YouTube, including Twitch as well. Like, for me, this has been like the big thing that I did not expect. How people like, everyone is such a like smiley face, like, I love you. That's especially Twitch. Like, when it comes to Twitch, community is great. But there's also a lot of like people that'll just say, I love you, and on YouTube it's like, I appreciate you, but if there's something, like, if there's some bad blood going on, or if there's like a reason, like, people say like, get out, and here it's still like behind the scenes like, get the fuck out of here, but then if they join the Twitch, it's like, hi man, how you doing, I love you, man. And it's like so like the amount of like fakery, and like I really had to deal with like that. I thought I could trust people, and then like trust issues just went down. It's like the amount of people that I trusted compared to the start to now. Like, I didn't want to have to do this, but like, I did not expect that would happen. But like, what have been some things that like you expected to be different, and then like, especially when you like went full time on YouTube, like, how have your expectations turned for better or worse?
I've learned big time, especially for YouTube is very much about covering the here and now, and people gravitate towards that because they want to know what is going on ASAP. Sometimes you feel like, oh, I can put out whatever video and it's gonna be the same, but no, sometimes you gotta get on that. And the YouTube community is much more vicious. Is much more vicious than the Twitch community. But the great thing about the YouTube community, and I know these are like the two pluses. Like, in the YouTube community, you're like an island. You can create whatever beautiful, wonderful thing you want to put out there on that island, and then you just have this beautiful island for yourself. And then occasionally people will come over and shit on it. That's how YouTube feels like, but it's a lot of just anonymous people that are trolling. In Twitch, what I've noticed a lot is your number one, audience is so much nicer on Twitch. Don't get me wrong, I love my YouTube audience. Well, like 85% on that. Sometimes it's like in the 70s, sometimes it's like in the 80s, sometimes it's in the 90s, but most of the time it's floating around that 75, 80%. I'm like, you're a piece of trash, you're a piece of trash, you're a piece of trash. And the thing is, it's hard because in YouTube comments, there are some people that are just such assholes. And if you ran into them on Twitch, you know, they'd be an asshole for a second. You'd explain yourself. You'd make a joke out of it. They'd laugh. You'd laugh. It would be all okay. But on YouTube, it's like you give them their information, then they come back at you with the throat, and then they leave you a paragraph, and you're like, now I got to dissect the paragraph. I'm like, I'll leave this message. And then everybody's like, you're a terrible person. And I think that was actually left for me in one of my YouTube. He's like, you're not a very nice person at all. I'm like, bitch, I've got 2 charity streams that I'm about to do. I make videos to help people on YouTube. When people come to my streams, I do my best to like cheer them up if they're in a bad mood. Like, I'm a nice person, but you're a bitch. So I'm not gonna be nice to you. So sit the fuck down, shut the fuck up, or get the fuck out. It's gonna be one of those issues. But on Twitch, a lot of people can totally say that it's like, you know, they get your, what's the word I want to say? They get your inflection. They get your inflection and they get, oh, he's trolling. And I'm like, gotcha, I'm trolling. And they're like, you troll. And I'm like, yes, we could be friends. And that's exactly kind of like, that's what I love about Twitch. But the one thing, and those are the two big differences. The one thing that people always have to know about YouTube is you don't get a day off being on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
You are on YouTube constantly. You're putting out videos. If you're not putting out, like, this is what one of the things that Rio said. If you're not putting out videos, you need to be streaming. And a part of me is like, you're right. Like, I got to do one or the other. I got to make sure to, like, you know, keep what is it called? They call it like brain realty. God, I fucking forget these things, but it's like space in your brain. So, you know, like, people are constantly checking for you because you're constantly putting things out. If you're not constantly putting things out, people aren't constantly checking for you.
Wasn't that brain space?
So, brain space, there's a term for it. Anybody in chat?
I know.
Anybody in chat?
I think we got a couple of content creators here. Guys, have you done your research? This is a test. We know the word, actually. Rob and I know the word. We're just pretending like we don't know. Please put it down to see what it is.
Yes, that's exactly what this is. We actually know the word.
We know. We just pretend.
But yeah, no. So that's definitely one of the things that I learned from YouTube is, from YouTube and Twitch, is you constantly need to be, like, putting out content. If you're not putting out content, you might as well not be working. So that's a bad thing. Yeah. But also, every now and then, this is one of the other things that I've learned, and this is going to be the rest of my day, is sometimes just turn everything off.
Oh, yes. Oh,
sometimes just walk away.
Social media can be the fucking worst. Like, right now, whenever I go to family or whenever I go out and there are people with a phone, I'll deliberately leave my phone at home. And it's so refreshing because, like, constantly, like, I'd be checking this thing constantly and be like, oh, hey, has someone posted something in Discord? Like, the interesting thing is that I got, like, I was talking with someone the other day on Discord, and they knew me from Twitch. And they were like, and I was talking to him, like, I got back to him a day later, which happens so often because I get so many DMs. It's like, you go through them, and the other morning, it's like, okay, I'll get back to you, and you forget. It just happens that way.
It happens all the time.
So I sent him a message back, like, hey, dude, I'm so sorry, but, you know, I got so many messages. He's like, oh, you're popular now. I'm like, well, you know, I probably have a lot more going on behind the scenes than you may think. Because, like, there is so much stuff from the community, from the stuff that we organize. I talk with a lot of creators all the time. And it's, like, constantly, like, you're looking at, like, have they responded yet? Is there something that I need to look at? And then you go away for a day. You're away for, like, 6 hours. You come back. You got no messages. Like, if I was home, I would have been checking that for 6 hours straight. Yep. Now I come back, there's nothing. Or maybe, like, 2 or 4 messages, like, depending on the time of the day.
And you're like, thank God I was able to turn my brain off for that moment.
Yeah.
But no, this is what happens when you don't turn off your internet for a second, because as you guys, people who've been at my streams recently, there have been some internet issues, so I've been sorting that out. So I haven't really had, everything's been nonstop, but this is what happens. And then, of course, this is what happens. And then, of course, this is what happens. And what else? We've also got this going on and this going on. Like, these are all cups of coffee and soda. Hi, Warframe Partners Cup. Yes, this is what it is. And there's still some more up there. There's some dishes over there. Literally, sometimes, content creators out there, if you're watching this, don't hesitate to just walk the fuck away. Walk away so you can do your dishes, so you can vacuum your apartment and actually live a halfway normal life. You need it sometimes.
It's actually, like, really important that, like think about this. It's like there are so many people out here, especially people when they just graduate high school. It's like you're 18 years old, and there are so many people that want to change the world. I'm 20. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't feel like I'm too qualified to speak on this, but it's like, I know that you're in there with this vision of I want to change the world, but, you know, most of the time you don't even have your own act together. Like, if you want to change the world, and you
I
don't even have
my
your
own act
room
together, and
organized.
I'm on YouTube and
Like, how can you
Ah!
even begin to organize something bigger if you can't even manage something that small?
I know.
And think about it. Like 6 years ago, you were 12. Okay, 6 years ago, if you're an 18, like, you're great. But keep in mind, you're 6 years ago. You were 12. What do you know? What's your life
I know.
experience been? And yeah, that's.
I'm just more realistic with it now. Like, it's funny because I have conversations with Gridark sometimes, and Gridark is he's very well researched. He has his shit together. Like, and I'm like, I'm not even remotely close to an adult. I just hope I can manage. I just hope I can manage through the next 2 days without dying.
Speaking of Gridark, like what I thought was absolutely amazing. Like, I have the amount of work you put in. I want to get him on this podcast. Like, really, really, really talk about Twitch, because I think for every single Twitch streamer or wannabe Twitch streamer out there, we need watch that, learn from him, because the amount of hours he puts in.
The great thing about him is he has his shit so much together. I'm on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, where I'm like, I have nothing together and somehow I make it work.
But
for me, I look at him like, but that's just so much effort.
No, but it's
I'm like,
literally how I got introduced to Gridark was via you, Rob. Like, you told me hey, there's this Gridark guy and he is streaming Warframe. He's gonna be big. And I was looking at him back then. I wasn't pulling big numbers, and it was it's just it just goes to show, put in the work, 10 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you can get to a certain point. And then
saying 10 hours a day, I'm already tired.
Yeah, same here. However, what I thought was more impressive than even that is that I remember at one point I joined a stream, and I said hi, and I know I'm not like behind the scenes. I know some people know me, but people that are new in the Warframe community, I don't expect them to know me because, fuck, who am I? Yeah. But I joined in, I said hi, and he was immediately dude, I know you, and I know what kind of videos you make, and I've checked your stream files. I was like, if you even do that with streamers like me, he goes over everyone.
Tapped into everything, and I'm like, listen, wait, who's streaming? I'm sorry, I don't know who that person is, and it makes me sound like an asshole. But a part of it is I'm so busy thinking up new content that's coming up. I'm so busy just trying to scrape by, making sure that my Twitch stream isn't completely falling apart every minute. That it does get a bit difficult. So part of me is I'm just being able to look into all of this stuff and watch. He's got several streams. He's got several streams going on at the same time at all times. You're some sort of weird security guard streaming. I don't know how you do it. I don't get me. I just want to finish my waffle and I want to move on to my stream. That's all.
All right.
I'm a simple boy. That's all.
All right. Actually, let's see. So the next thing I want to talk about is something that's not related to YouTube, or actually related to your second channel, the keto diet. How's that been going? And
keto has been treating me insanely well, and it has been one of those diets that I've actually really fallen in love with, because it's a diet, but it's a way of life. So keto, for those of you guys who are unaware, is kind of like biohacking your body. It's making your body do something it normally does, but it normally doesn't do as often. So you kind of force your body into a state of ketosis. Now, ketosis is when your body is producing these ketones that burn fat as an energy source, and you become more and more acclimated, and you become better at burning fat for energy. So what you do is you trade out carbohydrates. So you get rid of carbohydrates almost entirely from your thing, because that's what your body normally runs off of. Mm-hmm. So when you get rid of all of those carbs, your body's like, wait, what? But I need that to do things. And you just look at your body and you're like, well, you're going to have to figure it out. And so it's a natural thing that occurs in your body, where your body is like, all right, well, you got a lot of fat. So let's use all your fat. Let's use everything, and let's burn that up as energy. So that's basically what the keto diet is. It's a high fat, which, makes you go, High fat? How's that
High
a diet?
fat, like
High fat.
Oh, all right, I want to slim down. Let me just take a lot of fat. It's like,
Just
wait,
have some
what?
fat, right?
What?
It's high fat, moderate protein, low to no carbs. So I run off of under 20 carbs a day. I'm usually anywhere from 10 to 15 carbs is my usual consumption. And so what happens is slowly your body starts using your excess fat, the excess fats from your body, and also any of the fats that you put into it, which are a little bit easier for your body to use because you're like, when fat is on your body, it's already like in a physical form. When you're consuming it, it can just kind of churn it out real fast for some quick energy. But I have been on it for maybe because I literally have hashtag marks. So 1, 2, 3,
you actually
4,
keep track
5,
of it?
6, 7, 8. So I've been on it for 2 months now. I've been on it for 2 months, and I have lost 24.2 pounds. So that's over 12 pounds a month.
That's very good. Like, those are very good numbers, man.
But the thing is, it's not just about the diet itself. It's also about going to the gym and making sure that you're staying active. And I mean, you'll lose some weight, but I have like goals that I want to hit before TennoCon.
It's pretty much an input and output thing. Like,
yeah,
I've never like dieted, but it's like when people go on a diet, the biggest problem is that they take it as like, all right, I'm just gonna eat less. But that's not the thing. It's like an input output thing. Like if you're gaining weight, it's because you're eating too much and you're not working out too much. So it's like get on the workout, maybe cut a little bit, make sure that you eat good food, and you'll start to see progress coming up. So have you been like doing this alone, or are you doing this together? Or...
I have been doing this with an amazing group of people. And it's weird because you kind of find this community that's doing keto all together. So I'm doing it. Mogamu's trying to do it because I know he had a piece of bread the other night. I'm gonna bust you out. I know that he ate a piece of bread the other night. I know DE Megan is actually doing it. We have like a little kind of like private channel where we talk about recipes and stuff like that. Another streamer called Tori Grace was doing it. At one point, Smashly was doing it. So a lot of us within the community have really been utilizing this, and it's nice because we can have those conversations. There's also a really big bustling YouTube community that is doing it as well. So you kind of feel like, you're like, oh, I've got a little keto family on the YouTubes too.
So who started it then? Like, who introduced you to it? Was like one person that introduced everyone?
It was actually Mogamu. It was Mogamu who did it. And the way that I had dieted previously was you cut calories. And I mean, I really wasn't paying that much attention to like macros, like all of the little nutrients that you're eating. So I was like, well, I'll just cut calories and go to the gym. I was like, it's simple. And you can lose weight like that, right? You can definitely lose weight like that. But the cool thing about keto is because you're high fat, or I'm actually moderate fat because I'm trying to burn the fat off my body. So I'm moderate fat, moderate protein, low carbs. So almost the way that you almost want to look at it is if you play Warframe, let's do it this way. Is like, let's say you're fighting a Corpus crewman, right? Just a Corpus crewman. Your carbs are the shield, right? So you shoot the shields every day. You shoot the shields, and then the shields slowly regenerate over time because you're eating more and more carbs. You're filling up on more carbs. But your target, the way that you want to kill the Corpus crewman, is you have to make his health go to 0. The health is the fat. So basically what you're doing is, since you're not getting any carbs, the shields are very, very low, right? And then you can go ahead, knock through those shields, and whittle away at the fat until the Corpus crewman is dead. I mean, I don't want to be dead. I'm not the Corpus crewman.
No, dude.
We're killing the fat.
We don't need you dead.
So the way that it works is because I'm working out at the same time and I'm building muscle, the protein is there to feed the muscle so that the muscle doesn't degrade, right? And then the fats are there to give me the energy. And also, because your body is getting better at burning fat, you burn more and more and more fat. So that's kind of like the Warframe way of looking at it. But really what ended up happening is I was like, well, I'm going to count calories anyway, right? I'm going to count calories anyway. Why don't I just look at the carb number that's like right underneath the calories and just do that too? And in all honesty, that's kind of like the way that I approached YouTube. That's the way I approached moving out to where I currently am for my previous job. That's the way that I am with a lot of things. Like just fucking do it. Just do it. And then so I was like, oh, well, I didn't look at the calories anyway. Let's just get rid of the carbs too. And I'm like, all right. And that's basically kind of like the way that the story evolved. And then I realized that you could have so many great foods on keto that I was just like, well, I can cut out the Pop-Tarts and I can have, because I have it handy, because it's real life, I can have cookies. So I literally have a chocolate chip cookie here.
Ooh,
That I eat half of. It's really dense. I can't have the whole thing. And I can have chocolate bars because they are sweetened with they're not sweetened with actual sugar. They're actually using sugar alcohols or like fake sugars. But as you can see, it's real. I'm actually consuming them.
Yes.
So I'm like, I can cut out all of those ones, replace them with these, and then I can be on keto, and my body will be like,
well,
grinded and
well,
grinded.
actually, there's one thing you can't take out the Pop-Tart with like the Pop-Tart collection that you have.
I can't have the Pop-Tart collection, but it's there to remind me of my strength and resistance.
take it to TennoCon. You can like get rid of it there.
Wait. Will they let me through the Canadian border with that? Does anybody know? Let us know in chat if you're a Canadian person of Canadian stuff. Let me know. Can I take Pop-Tarts across the border? Because I'll do it. You can have all my Pop-Tarts. I'm not even joking.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. We can make an amazing party out there. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's gonna be great.
Well, y'all can. I can have.
What can you...
No, I can have a lot. The thing is, like, I can have steaks, I can have burgers, I can have shrimp. The only thing is, I just have to take off buns, and I don't eat French fries. So that's the only thing. So keto is definitely one of those things, and it's definitely done a lot for me, and I'm gonna keep going on it. Because legitimately, when you're losing a lot of weight and you're feeling, the thing about it too is you feel really, after the initial hump, because there's something called the keto flu, where you feel shitty for like 3 days to a week. Like, what's called this? Mogamu literally was nauseous. He could not keep food down. It was bad. It was bad for him. Me, I had like 2 cranky days. I was just an extra bitch for 2 days, and then I was done.
I can already imagine.
No body feeling.
I can already imagine you guys in chat right now. Mogami, like, dude, my God, I can't get like I'm dying here, and you're like, Mogami, dude, no man, I'm just.
You can do it.
You can do it. Come on, I'm alright.
Yeah. And in all honesty, this is kind of the way that I looked at it. Is I was kind of like, is this a diet that I can maintain for a long period of time? And I think that I will be doing keto for as long as I can see fit. I might break keto a couple times. There are a couple of rules that I've given myself. If your mom cooks for you, you fucking eat it because that's your mom. You know, disrespect your mom like that. And if you go out to sushi with your mom, because that's one of our traditions, you shut up and you eat the sushi. Yeah. Like, you don't do that. And then also the last one is when you're at TennoCon and you get the fucking bread pudding. I will not shut up about this goddamn bread pudding. It is the best. It is a maple bacon bread pudding. I'm gonna eat the fucking bread pudding. I'm sorry. That's just how it's gonna be.
But
you can only take Pop-Tarts if they're maple syrup.
But that's why you put in like the large effort for. Like, it's like the one-offs that they don't matter. It's like what you do in the long term. So
but here's my secret fear.
What?
This is my secret fear. My body doesn't like processing carbs anymore. So this is the issue, because I did have a day where I had a higher carb consumption. I literally felt ill. I wanted to lay down. And then when I woke up from the carb nap, I had the biggest headache ever. So I'm like, okay, I want to be good because I'm going to be streaming at TennoCon. I'm going to be seeing people. I don't want to like be like, oh, I feel so bad. I'm like, listen, can you guys like put this? Can you like cut a big old brick of it for me? And then after TennoCon, after we're done with everything, I can go back to my hotel, microwave it up, and I'm just going to be in my room just eating this goddamn bread pudding like a fucking pig.
Oh, well.
And yeah, hydroxylate, unfortunately, we can't have potatoes on what's called keto, but we can have cauliflower, and we can have cauliflower mash, and I actually had cauliflower mac and cheese. So instead of the macaroni, you use cauliflower, and then you cover it in cheese sauce. I put buffalo chicken on mine, so it's like spicy, and put some blue cheese on top. So yummy.
I remember actually was it like a week ago or so that we were in chat with Mogamu, and he was actually making a recipe. Well, I don't remember what it was, and he was like making it, and he wasn't really sure whether the meat was good, and he tasted it, and he loved it. He was like, I can't even imagine me making this now.
Well, the thing about it is, I think a lot of people are scared of cooking, and I'm like, I almost want to like make cooking videos and say, you know, all this weird bullshit where they say you have to saute the vegetables. I'm like, bitch, that means stirring it in a pan. That's all it means. Like we were talking about deglazing. He was like, ooh, what? I was like, what's deglazing? I'm like, that's when you put shit in a pan to pick up all the bits that you left at the bottom. And I'm like, everybody has all of these fancy terms, and I'm like, if we cut out the fancy terms and we stop being all bougie and we're just like, let's be realistic about what this actually is, I think a lot of people would be less intimidated and would be more willing to go and cook, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things. I'm like, it's so easy. Just don't be freaked out by all of the terms. Like mincing, no, that just means cut real small. That's it. That's all it means.
Mm-hmm.
It's simple.
It's not hard, and it's really fun, like getting to try things out. Nice recipes. Like I love cooking at home rather than going out. That's the first thing I did at TennoCon, is like get a bunch of food that I then didn't eat and I gave to Sasuke. So I think I gave like a year's supplies of sausages and stuff like that.
It is fun to cook. It's very fun to cook, especially when you kind of have an idea of what you want to do. Plus, when you feed people and they're like happy with what they're eating, you're like, I did that. I'm so good. I'm the best. Yes, thank you. Thank you for that.
All right.
I cooked for you. And you're happy. And that's the thing too, is when they're happy and they're like, oh my God, that was so good, and they're full, I'm like, that was me. It's kind of like the way that I approach sex too. I'm like, yes, I did that. That was me.
All right, now that you have that high self-esteem, we have 2 more things to go. Number 1 is gonna be what we're gonna get into now. But number 2, our fan question. Now you can have, some people have submitted a fan question to the Discord. If you have any questions for Rob, leave them in chat right now. We'll be going over them in a little bit. But now it's time.
I'm surprised that there are any questions, to be honest.
But now it's time for my most favorite section of this podcast, called Explain This, where we go back. Well, I've been digging through your history, and we're gonna look at some things, and I'm gonna ask you.
By the way, I think I need to rejoin. Is it? No, I'm still in your room.
You're still in my room. Yeah.
Okay, good. I was just worried about it.
Yeah. It looks like we're miles apart, but actually, like, we just have like two completely. It's the same room we're in right now.
He's really standing on the other side of me. Yeah. That's how.
We just decorated it completely different, so you think.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, you know. Anyway, so this one starts off with a question about, like, personally, what have you said? Like, personally, what do you feel you're not so good at? Like, what would you have said in videos that someone else is really good and you weren't so good at in a YouTube video? Like, just...
There are so many things that I am not good at that other people are better at than me. I don't do well with explosive weapons. I will die. I don't do well with patience. I don't do well with dealing with dumbasses. I don't do well with... What do I not... There's a lot of things that I don't do well with. There's just some shit that I just don't deal with, period.
Ooh.
But as far as I know, I don't know.
Oh,
what is the thing that I don't do so well with?
I've been kicked out of the rabbit room.
That's what I thought. I thought so. I was like, I didn't see your stuff there and waiting. So part of me is a little bit worried. And commitment, I do very well. I will have you know, just so people are aware. What else am I not good at? Oh, there's so many things. I just can't. I just don't know what direction this could possibly be going.
It's a very interesting direction, especially when coming from you, what you said, because in this video,
with driving a stick shift, pickles.
No.
Bananas. I can't eat bananas. I don't like bananas.
It's got to do.
I don't like nuts very much either.
It's got to do with you. You're talking about a specific creator in a community. Like he's so good in all the things that I'm not good at, and both the person you're calling out And for what you're saying that he's perfect, it's very interesting. And I did not think I would ever see the day that you'd say that, but you actually said that. So let's just take a look.
What did
See
I
if you
say?
remember that
Okay,
video.
now I'm very curious to see what this is. I am very, very curious to see what this is. I need to know.
Regardless, this is just going to be a quick video because this morning, I was challenged by Potato Powered, and if you guys haven't checked out his channel, he does the one thing that I am absolute shit at. He does amazing live commentaries, and he discusses a lot of the things that are going on with weapons. So which weapon is better than what weapon, what people like a little bit better than others, but regardless, the series that we're going to be talking about today is his new series called NGFR, which stands for Never Go Full Retard. Which is
I
really
know
good
what
series
this
that
is!
takes
Remember
our
this?
favorite
You remember
weapons
this
and
video?
Yes, I
in some
do.
cases, our favorite Warframes, and puts
So, how much things have changed because now all your videos are live commentary.
It is! All of my videos, okay, previous to this, as many of you guys know, a lot of the videos I did were scripted. And for those of you who are unaware, like even the gay factor, everything, every single ounce of it was scripted down to the T. Now the issue about it is I would literally sit down there and I would just type for hours and hours and hours, and it took me anywhere, like depending on like my inspiration or how I was feeling, as well as the research for it, it would take me about 2 to 5 hours writing a script. And it was like long. And then after that, I would have to do the audio for the script. Then I would have to edit the script. Then I would have to get the game footage for the script. And what slowly ended up happening was I realized that it was not at all sustainable for me to do that 5 days a week. You know what I mean? To do that 5 days a week. So I learned that I have to get better at live comment. It's kind of like one of those things where you evolve or die. And that's exactly what happened with the channel, because clearly, you know, it was so time consuming. And with YouTube, one of the big things that is out there is the fact that everything is on a time crunch. People want the information as soon as possible. So it's hard to do a 5-hour scripted video, to level the weapon, format the weapon, get an educated opinion on the weapon, which means not just leveling it, which means literally going out and playing it in missions and seeing how it fares in missions, right? So it takes all of that time to get all of the information down. But I realized that people really just want the information as quickly as possible. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to change things up. We're going to have to do live commentary. We're going to have to, and it was scary for the channel because the channel was used to having 4-minute videos to 8-minute videos. That was the length. That was the max. Now videos are like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
And dude, the gay factor, that was such a nice thing.
It's so iconic. And the thing is, I still want to bring it back in random spurts, but I want to hide it in there. Because sometimes, if we're going to be real, sometimes it's the gay factor that held up the script. And I don't think that a lot of people knew that. And when it comes to YouTube, people want that information ASAP. So the thing about it is, if I'm spending an extra 2 hours working on a gay factor and making sure that it's funny, so many times, by the way, I would do gay factor and I would run to the bathroom. Like I would, not like that, but I would jump in the shower. And I would jump in the shower and I would like let the water like free up my brain and just let me go on a little mini rant. But now here's the thing. I go on Twitter and I go on Twitch, and that's where my rants are. So if you want the gay factor, it's usually somewhere there, to be honest with you.
Let me see.
It's just not in an organized format. And I know that's definitely something that a lot of people loved. But again, if I'm gonna bring it back, I want to bring it back as like a throwback to how the channel used to be.
Because what was a dress to kill that you once did? Like last year, I remember you doing a dress to kill, which is like completely made out of Captura, and you put so much time.
Oh, it doesn't even say dress to kill in it. It's like a gay guy plays. Oh shit! It was Octavia.
Yeah. And
it was called like, it doesn't even have the same kind of thumbnail, and I think it's called like, keep scrolling down, it's somewhere there. It could be called like the Drums of War or something like that.
It was like a
It was a very different video. I don't even think that I put I don't even know if it's not even showing up on the screen there.
It's not showing up, no. But it's like people were asking them, are you not going to do the dress to kill? That was a dress to kill. But it was such a beautiful video. Like, I remember talking with you about it.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, sometimes on YouTube, you got to take a little bit of, you got to throw a little Hail Mary. Let's see if I can find it for you. Because in all honesty, it was definitely one of those things where I wanted to step out of my box and I wanted to do something honestly different. And it was one of those moments where I was like, I don't know if people are gonna like this at all, even remotely. But I was such a big fan of her that I had to do it. I think it was called Bard. Hold on. Let's see.
Not all bards. That was
not all bards. Yes, that's what it is. It was called Not All Bards. Are you able to find it?
I think that was it. There we
go. There it is.
It
is completely. I just want to do something so different and so unique.
Yeah. But
because we had Capture It now, and I was like, let's see how we do this.
Let's see.
And all of the background music was composed.
Not all bards sing in celebration, nor their songs played in pure elation. Some are forged with drums of war, metal and blood woven in score. Some emerge lit by the pyres, misery born sought to inspire, while others cling on to their hope. Rifles and romance become their yoke. 'Cause not all bards are pleasure built, and as they march, stay dressed to kill.
It was.
I
so
loved it. Nobody watched that either. It's like one of my lowest views videos, but it is definitely one of my favorite that I've done.
Yeah. Like, I remember talking to you because I remember in the first months, I was giving you so much shit for doing this live stream thing because it was creative wise, it's like when you look at the quality of the content when it comes to how much do you it's like you just sit and talk over the game, which it takes real skill to do that. Let me just not say oh well, it's easy to make. It's not. You gotta have your facts straight. You gotta be able to say that. You gotta be able to play at the same time. But
the thing is, people think that the videos are just one takes. I will let you know right now. And people have spotted it in my videos. I'll fuck up intros, I'll fuck up whole parts, and I'll have to redo that whole part.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes when I get editing, you literally have a chunk of me going, oh, then halfway through, and I'm like, fuck it, I gotta go back. And sometimes I'll miss that edit. And people don't realize that that's just one edit. My videos for the most part are anywhere from 20, are anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes long in average.
Mm-hmm.
But recording is an hour and a half.
Oh, dude. It's with everything. It takes so long.
Yeah, but the issue about that is, even though that sounds long, recording is an hour and a half, right? Back in the day, it was legitimately edit. It was literally it was literally script for 2 hours minimum. All right, record gameplay for another hour, record audio and edit the audio for another hour. So that's 4 to 5 hours already to put out and that's not even rendering times. It's not even upload times. It's not making thumbnail times. So I was looking at it and I was like, I'm spending 8 hours of my day just to try to make a 4-minute video.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I'm like, this is absolute insane. And the thing is that, yes, that's a day's worth of work. But when DE drops a prime, so you have to cover the prime, you have to cover the primed weapons, the 2 primed weapons that come along with it. Then people also want you to do a dress to kill. Then they want to see if you revise your build. I'm like, so how am I going to get all of this out in a decent amount of time without literally living at my computer? And doing all of the admin stuff and streaming at the same time. I was like, I can't, I workload, I have to manage it.
No, it's I totally feel you with that because I used to do the long eye dreads. And even now, I've changed that back. My Warframe concept, my only Warframe concept right now is the Frame Thoughts, which is like on a separate channel. If you haven't seen any Warframe content on the main channel, Michel Postma's Frame Thoughts. It's also on the Joey Series Weekly Warframe show. Go check it out. It's absolutely amazing. But it's like, the idea is, because like Xeno came up to me and said, okay, can you make a Warframe video about a minute long? And I was like, what do you want? Like, just do it about anything. Can you make it? And that was at the time that I was like, I don't know whether I want to do Warframe anymore, because, you know, I want to be more than just the guy that does Warframe. Totally. I want it to be about me, and if the game dies, like, what am I then? So I was like, okay, well, I'll give it a shot. But it's like, whenever I'm like writing it down, because it's pretty much like every single episode is like, either I put out like, the last episode I put out a theory about like, I proved the Lotus is lying to you, and the Lotus is lying to you in the very first line we ever hear her say. I've proved that scientifically. That is true. Like, it's like what like, for generations you slept, no purpose, no call to wake you. She is lying. There is no way that is true. So, but to prove that, like, I had to get into like medical science, and I had to like bring up Sinister, and then work that. Like, I had to make things work, like calculate how long certain effects will,
basically like, you game theoried the Lotus.
It's so much like, okay, you put so much time and effort in it, but then you have something like, oh my god, dude, I have it. But I also have like this race against the clock. It's like, when I'm recording, I want to do this as fast as possible, because every single second, it's like, it's extra work with editing, and with editing it can be so bad, especially when you have like my base canvas is just white, and everything I have to like add onto it. Like, there can be hours in like.
This is why Rob turns on the camera. I'm like, I've already done all of the research in the background. I have already like put in this many hours just to get this video out. You and your like extra bits, I'm like, good luck with that.
Like, well, hopefully I can get it to like, it's one video a week, so it's like, I do it at the end of the day, I do the research and then I record it, but like, I still need to get into that groove. But I think it's really fun, and like, it can range from anything from like, oh, the Lotus is full of lies, to mechanical like Warframes, machine Warframes. They're not possible in this universe. I proved that as well. But it can also go to like, how much is a credit worth in USD? We'll look at that. Like, I think that's really fun, because it makes you look at Warframe so much differently, and that's getting me interested again. But there is another part to this thing of explain this. Now there's
I see Twitter up there. Twitter's a very dangerous place for me.
Let me just phrase this, that okay, you put out so much content, it's like, and you pretty much everything you do, it's like, it's either exposed by other people, or you pretty much expose yourself, or like, there is nothing really juicy to get into. But then I got this, and this is actually a conversation between you and me, and I just wanted to bring this forward because I think it's really beautiful. And
you think it's beautiful? Okay, now I'm concerned.
Oh yeah, you know.
No,
I always get like,
I did the same
thing. I did the same thing with James and Amanda. I got back to their tweets from years ago. I'm gonna do the same thing now, but this is extra good. Okay, so a couple of years ago, Rob and I had this conversation. Let me get it to you.
I'm really quite worried, to be honest with you.
There you go.
What is this?
So it starts out with Rob saying, pull-ups make me sad. I come back to him. This is May 2016, saying, anyway, Rob, how about we do a 10 of workouts and make it a new series? I think that will do great. I was terrible at that time. Like, I can't look back at my shit as well.
This was in 2016, by the way, so 2 years ago.
Mainly,
it's almost a year.
2 years. It's literally 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's literally 2 years. It's like literally 2 years.
So you responded with, mainly because we don't live anywhere near each other. I've never met you in my life. To which I responded with,
back then I was a bitch still. I was like, I've never met you.
To which I said, don't think of that as obstacles, rather as elements of surprise that will do great. That will do great on the show. Anyway,
you were such a creeper. I was like, you didn't even have like a face pickup on yourself. I was like, who is this creepy guy trying to do pull-ups with me?
Anyway, maybe in a year or two. Now, you know, it's now May of 2018. That was posted May of 2016. So you see, in a year or two, I wasn't right, but yeah. I'm not proud of a lot of Twitter posts that I put out there, because like, looking back, it's like I was just like shooting everyone messages and being like, you know, I was very new to this landscape. However, I think it's really cool.
And to think I was one of the nicest out of all.
But I think it's really cool that I predicted at that time, like,
Oh,
Let's
you're
try again
really
in a
full-
year
you're
or
like, I predicted that we would
I've
be
in a
doing this.
year. It's like, look at this.
Well, I didn't say that we're not doing pull-ups now.
Yep. So that's what I said. Like 2 years later, as I said right there. So you know what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna hit that reply button. So
Oh, fuck off.
hey Rob, it's been
What a piece of
2
shit.
years.
It's been 2 years. Let's do pull-ups.
What do you think?
The answer is
Pull-ups
no.
at-
Who are you? I don't even know who you
Have a
are.
comment and reply. So yeah,
That's what it's gonna be. I'm just gonna be like, I don't know who you are. Sorry.
I'll see it. I'll see it. But yeah, like I just thought it was funny. I ran for your tweet.
It is really odd that it's about 2 years later the way that things go full circle, right?
Mhm. Yeah, it's like I looked
How
at
far
it.
things have come, yeah.
I saw it. I was like May 2016, and then I put it a year or two. I was like, dude, I gotta bring this forward. However embarrassing it is for me.
Yeah.
But I was like, I think this is perfect.
There will be pull-ups. That's probably what I'm gonna do at the gym today. I like to do a lot of like multi-muscle workouts at the gym, like a lot of the more like rope pulls and pull-ups, because I feel like it shapes your body more naturally.
All right. Well,
What do you start playing?
let's.
Are you okay?
No, I'm okay. I'm actually pulling up the chat right here now, so because it's where it's over, man. Like we've done the explain this. It's good. You're free. It's time for fan questions, which may just be worse. Who's the guy on the right? Well, thank you so much. Welcome to my channel.
Am I the guy on the right, or are you the guy on the right?
No,
Because
I
I don't
think-
actually have
no,
your channel
no.
up. I just have your chat up.
Well, yeah, I'm the guy on the right. I think he's talking about me. Well, it's nice that people on my channel don't even know me. Well, thank you so much. Anyway,
Welcome.
Cryo.
Welcome to Michel's channel.
Thank you so much for subscribing. Well, let's go take a look. I have a couple of questions. One was from Zevlon Tribal. We'll put this in through the Discord, and he asked,
I see you.
"How are you so fabulous?"
I have decided to own every fiber of my being, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I genuinely think that when you are genuinely yourself, that is when you are the most fabulous. I think it's a good answer. I did a good one. That was
Yeah.
like mildly inspirational.
No, that was
I
good.
think
That was good. That was good.
Yeah, I think that there's nothing more beautiful than when somebody just embraces who they are. And I think that people have a perception of me that I think that I'm like all high and mighty. Hun, I feel fat. I feel fat and I feel like my hair is greasy and I feel like my internet is crap. Like, I'm just like any other normal human being, but I will always be realistic. I'm like, am I a good person? Kinda, sometimes. But I'll embrace that kinda sometimes, you know? Like, you don't have to be good all the time. You don't have to be an asshole all the time either. But you just embrace who you are, and that is what makes you beautiful. Your inner beauty will flourish.
Yay. Let's see. Aside from that, is there anything in the chat?
That was the only question. Now we know the truth.
Yeah, that was apparently the only. Well, that was the only question. Anyway, one thing that I want to get to, which is like this is the way that we end every single podcast. We've done this. This is the second time now. We've only done 3 podcasts, so yeah, every single one. But
Well, wait. Oh, I thought I was gonna say first the worst, second the best, third's not the best. I thought for some reason third was the best. It's not. Damn.
well, it's you're the best. Well, no. I don't know.
I'm the
I don't
third
know.
strike.
You're
Third
the
strike and you're
strike
out.
is the best. Okay. Anyway, I want to end this with ask you, what do you have like through YouTube or through Twitch or through your career? Do you have like any like amazing stories, like something that's like that when you were, if you were like back in high school, you'd look up to and be like, oh my god, I can't believe that I will get to experience this? Is there something that you're like, my god, I really like, I never expect that, like something big?
I know
Something-
this
no, well,
sounds.
yeah.
This doesn't sound big. This doesn't
It
sound
doesn't
big.
have to be big,
but
it's the way
it's to me it's really it's big. To me it's big.
Mhm.
But it might not sound big to other people. The realistic part for me was, I remember there was a time when I started out YouTube and Twitch, and I literally did not know how I was going to pay next month's rent, or if I was going to pay next month's rent, I was going to pay rent, but I wasn't going to be able to pay my car payment. Like my car payments were late. There was like a really bad financial time that had hit, and I was like, well, this is the end. We're done. This is all, right? This is where it ends. I was literally cleaning my apartment out because I felt like it was about time to go, right? Didn't say anything to my Twitch streams, didn't beg anyone for money. Called my mom. She did, mama helps you out when you need help. But I was like, that's one-time help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That doesn't, if you can't sustain yourself, you're gone. And so what ended up happening was, at least for me this year, I was able to look at my finances and I was able to pay my bills, and I paid my car off, and I had enough money for rent. And even though it like literally felt like someone was pulling out my heart, I was able to pay my taxes in full. And I looked at it and I was like, you are financially stable on Twitch and on YouTube. And that was like a moment for me where I literally was like, shit, I fucking did it. I fucking did it. I fucking did it. And one of the biggest things that I'd always remembered in my life is like, everybody gives you this path. Everybody gives you this road that they think that you need to take. Go do that. And I'm not saying don't do it, because it's a really stable, it's a really safe road. I don't want you guys to go off-roading and then all of a sudden you break your necks and then it's my fucking fault. But I literally took a shot at something that I really, really wanted. I was afraid for a good part of the time, nearly had to close up the shop at least 2 or 3 times. Was scared for not being able to like give my cat any food. I was panicking. And then to be able to say, all right, let's fucking look at what we've got. And now to be able to look out there and say, yes, I still have to get on my grind. Yes, I still need to put out videos consistently. Yes, I still need to stream. But I'm making it, doing something that I love to do. I'm paying my bills. I'm being an adult. My credit card is paid off. My car is paid off. And I'm like, I'm a fucking idiot. I'm a fucking idiot, and I did it. I did it. I'm so stupid, but I managed. I'm so stupid, but I managed. I have plates and cups everywhere. Like, my apartment is a mess. My apartment is a wreck, but I fucking did it, even though I'm a dumbass. No matter how many times I committed fucking social suicide on Twitter where people would have had my throat, no matter how many drama videos people made about me and talked shit, no matter how much Reddit hates me, and no matter how big a fucking idiot I am, no matter how fucking big an idiot I am, I did it. And even though, yes, I am not like rolling in the dough, and yes, I still don't have health insurance, we'll move on. That'll be the next goal. Like, Rob is literally like, I'm here. I'm here and everything is good, and I'm all the social suicide still being invited to TennoCon as a VIP. It's not like, a part of me is like, wow, if you really want it, you can do it. And I just said, all the rules that people set out for me, all of the things that people put in my way, I said, figure it out. We'll make it work. Bye. And we managed. And I thought that was a beautiful moment. Pay off the car, pay off the taxes, pay off the credit card, and to be able to do that doing something that I love. And I think that was really the moment that hit me the most.
It's so amazing. Like, I think it's like the way you come off on YouTube, like you're very, very confident. Like, it's like you're you, and as I said, like there's no difference between you here and you in real life. However, like you never share like the what goes on behind the scenes, like the financial stuff. Like I remember when our first couple of talks, the first time we started watching series and so on, like I was like, dude, like I would go to gaming conventions and they'd be like, I was like, yeah, I'm YouTube, and like, oh, how many subs do you have? Or like, it's like I didn't matter, and I looked at you, you were like, you were big. I was like, dude, you're probably making it, like you're full time, you know. I had never encountered someone that was full time on YouTube that I had like this connection with, and then like to discover that like the situation isn't all that like rose gold. It's like to hear that you made it. It's so it's such an amazing thing because as you said, like there are so many lanes like nothing bad on school, like pretty much like go to school, do your work, but like going to school pretty much like the entire educational road is like made to like make you as a perfect good worker, and like it can get you to places, but there's like no road to become a YouTuber. It's like if you want to chase that dream, you gotta do it all by yourself, and like there's so many struggles, like the constant doubt, every single comment out there that says this content is shit, or like do you even know what you're doing? It's like, dude, I've been there twice as hard as you're saying that in the comments right now. You don't have to tell me because I have it in the back of my head and it's nagging me. And then like being able to get there, it's like I can only imagine that's just being like a little bit of a peace of mind.
Yeah, and you have to understand that literally people hate my guts. There are some people out there that viciously, vindictively hate my guts. And, you know, there are days where you're like, maybe, you know, some of that gets in your head. And then just to be like, nah, fuck it. I'm me. I'm going to do me. And I'm going to be the best me that I can possibly be. And that's also another big thing is just owning up to who I am and understanding that I'm not going to be the next Philly D. You know, Philly D is the best Philly D that Philly D could possibly be. You know, TotalBiscuit was the best TotalBiscuit that he could be. There are all these different individuals. So, you know, there's a lot of time and there's a lot of pressure to fit into these cookie cutter molds, right? Like, oh, I got to look this way. I got to act this way. And for me to just be able to say, I'm just going to do it the way that I want to do it because I would rather be successful as me than as anyone else. And I think, to be honest with you, that's why I am the way that I am on Twitch. That's why I am the way I am on YouTube. That's why the way I am on Twitter. And I understand that like some people don't like me and that's okay. I understand that I'm brash. I understand that I'm forward. I understand that I will trash the shit out of someone if they are a piece of garbage, because that's what you do with trash. You take out the trash, okay? Reminding you. You take out the fucking trash. You don't let the trash fester in your fucking living room. You take the trash out by its hair and you throw it out the door. That's where it goes. And I understand that some people don't like that. But if I was to let that kind of stuff pass, that would not be genuinely me. Mm-hmm. You know? And I understand that that puts a mark on me and makes me look like a bad person. But the thing is, I always say, if you put up with it, you deserve it. And I'm not the kind of person who is going to put up with some of the shit that happens. So I stand up for myself, no matter how much people hate it. But that is genuinely who I am. And I know that, especially on social media and especially on YouTube, sometimes it's a bit of social suicide and that can hurt your channel or you can hurt your stream. But at the end of the day, I would rather you know who I am and be real than all of that kind of stuff. I don't have soda cans, I have soda bottles.
One thing that got me to understand the concept of this like really well was like, I don't know who said it, but like recently I watched a video. It's like, you know how people when they start with vlogs or with videos, like they look up to like these big YouTubers that jump out of airplanes every single day of the week, that will like fly a chopper around, land on the roof of VidCon. It's like, how can I ever stack up to that? How can I ever do that, right? Like, yeah. But it's like, imagine that, okay? Imagine that content, and then think of a video where someone like flies over the Hollywood sign and jumps out of that airplane, gets into their Mercedes, drives down whatever the beach, and then jumps into a submarine, and then that thing ends with like someone wearing branded shoes or so, we call it an
Yeah.
advertisement, and you're not interested in that at all. It's like it
Yeah.
doesn't. You don't give a shit. That's like that just makes you realize that the entire content, the entire video, like you can spend as much money as you want on that, but it's like no
Yeah.
one cares if it's not about the person itself. So it's like
Exactly.
it's about you. It doesn't matter about what you do. It's about you. But it's like it's sometimes.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take that idea, but instead it's gonna show me like putting on the parachute. And I'm gonna get into the plane, and we're gonna have it, and then we're gonna have a GoPro. And as they jump out of the plane, it's gonna zoom into the face, and it's a guy wearing my mask. Cause I ain't doing that shit. Y'all are fucking crazy. I am not jumping out of a goddamn airplane with all you crazy fuckers. I don't even know. I have them here somewhere. I still have the mask from TennoCon last year. And I was gonna try to find them and put them up. But that's what I want. I want it to be a man with my mask on. So I actually don't have to do it. And like they'll cut back to me on the ground, and I'll be like, having some beef jerky because I really don't want to fucking deal with it. Oh my god, they are here somewhere. I swear to God, they are here. They are right here. Oh my god. For those of you guys who don't think that I care about my fans, no, I care about my fans. I love them, and I love the shit that they give to me. This was from TennoCon last year. People made a bunch of screenshots of my face and were carrying them around because that was the meme. So I'm gonna use these to make the masks for the guy who jumps out of the plane for my video one day. But that's gonna be the reality. I'm like, I ain't fucking do that shit.
Well, that kind of ruins the idea I had for like the entrance of us to TennoCon, because I wanted to do something.
No,
I have to
I don't want
cancel
a
the
bunch of my
booking.
face with
Okay.
TennoCon.
You know how much money was spent on that. Now what are we gonna do now? Like roll up and like I don't know.
Grow up and not spend money on
just
ridiculous things.
being like other peasants. Like we just gotta
Other
walk
peasants.
other peasants. Oh my
no,
god!
but
I
it.
remember these signs though. Like we were literally running for our
Fucking
slot
terrible.
in the escape room, and it was like, and then everyone came up with these signs like, "We have to go." I'm so sorry, we have to go. But anyway, I think that's around the end of the podcast.
There is one more question that I want to answer in chat, so stick around for that. If that's you know who you are. I'll chat with that in a second. But yeah, I think that's it for today. Rob's got to hit the gym. Rob's got to get on looking sexy. Rob needs to lose his weight. Listen, I'm trying to get to that 30-pound mark so that I can go buy myself a bag, okay?
Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of Who the Fuck Is. Today we talked with Rob from AGayGuyPlays. You can find him over at YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. Also?
Instagram.
All AGayGuyPlays. Go check
All
him out.
AGayGuyPlays. It's consistent branding, and if you want to check out the second channel, it's Rob Offline on YouTube.
Go check out Rob Offline for extra keto content. That's what you're covering right now, right?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go after this. I'm gonna go buy some keto-friendly fast food, and I'm going to do an eating show with it on that channel. We're gonna mukbang.
So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Next week, we will have Neonez007 over at twitch.tv right here. It's going to be on Wednesday. Make sure that you leave any questions you have for him in the Discord. Chat podcast questions is now open. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye!